Pikachu use White Lightning.
Welcome to another video. Today we are testing out if we can turn fusion deployment into confiscation, which is banned. Alright, banned card. So we're recreating a banned card with fusion deployment. Now how does this trick work? And how does it work in Umi control? And is it good? We'll stick around to find out. Alright. So the key to this, alright, hopefully you do this going first, but also good going second. I'll show you all the lines. Let's start it off. We got reasoning here. Now, reasoning, a bit of a fun card in Umi control. So we want to use fusion deployment first. You always thought these first. You confiscation first. Check your opponent's hand for hand traps. What this is going to let us do is steal an Ash Blossom for our opponent's hand. So we're going to activate fusion deployment. In our extra deck, we're going to reveal Elemental Hero Aqua Neos, okay? And we got one of these in the extra deck. And in our main deck, this is going to let us special summon the Dolphin, the Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. And this boy, he is a Thoughtseize on legs with a very questionable aesthetic going on, all right? We're going to get to discard a card, look at opponent's hand, choose a monster. And then if their monster has less attack than the Neospatian Aqua Dolphin, we get to make them discard it. So what has less than 600 attack? Well, Ash Blossom for one. Most of the creature-based hand traps. Maxi obviously is pretty bad against this line because you have to special summon a Dolphin. So that's going to give them a card. But then you can steal their Ash Blossom, so maybe it's not that bad. All right. Let's discard. Evenly matched, not that good going first, so let's discard it. Take a peek at our opponent's hand. All right. Now, this is unfortunate. Opponent doesn't have any hand traps that they can use here that we can steal. So our Dolphin is actually going to slap us in the face because we did that. We take 500 damage because we failed to see a monster. So far, this is not looking too hot. All right. But on the plus side, we have complete perfect information of our opponent's hand. So we know our opponent has an evenly matched, so we're going to not play into that. That would be pretty foolish. Also the Cosmic Cyclone and a bunch of Kashtiras. So opponent playing Kashtira Tribal. Alright, so this wasn't super ideal, but we still got the reasoning. Now we know opponent doesn't have any hand traps, so they can't Ash Blossom us. So let's hit them with the reasoning. Now, in this deck, there are only 2 whiffs with reasoning, okay? You can hit the Neospatian Aqua Dolphin, who's already not in our deck, or you can hit Fallen of Albaz. Not sure why opponent named level 11. Fallen of Albaz, the other target for fusion deployment. If you're going second, you summon the Fallen of Albaz, and then you yoink your opponent's monsters to fusion summon one of the Albion cards. All right, the Mirror Jades, your Lubellians, your Albion, that sort of nonsense. We did not want to summon this from our reasoning. We're really hoping for a Umi Dragon, but it's all good. All right, Fallen Albaz comes onto the field. Let's tribute him. Summon the General Raiho, who I think is going to be pretty good versus what opponent is doing, but we'll see. All right, Pacifist we're not going to set because of evenly matched. If opponent wants to evenly match us, that's probably okay. I don't think that's the best line for opponent. They probably just summon their Kashtira, start attacking me, but opponents often don't read an opponent. Very worried about our Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. Gonna go skip their battle phase, evenly matched, get rid of the Dolphin. All right, we choose. We're gonna keep the Raiho. Now, whenever opponent activates an effect, Raiho is gonna make them discard a card, which is pretty solid because these Kashtira is gonna activate a lot of monster effects. Opponent activating, forced to discard. All right, we'll see if opponent reads now. Getting the Unicorn. Activating the Rise Heart in hand. We do know their whole hand still. Summoning the Ascent of Thunder. Eggsy summoning Shangri-Ira. Activating the Rise Heart going to mean they're discarding another card to go level 7. Opponent only has 1 card left. Triggering their Shangri-Ira. This is actually mandatory. And do they have to discard the card? That's the question. What does Raiho say? When your opponent activates an effect, they must discard a card or the effect is negated, their choice. Okay, so they could choose not to discard, but opponent just going for the discard anyway, wants to lock our 1 zone, but now opponent has no cards in hand. That means they cannot activate monster effects. We are safe. Safe from the zone lock, and safe from this special summoning a Kashtira from the deck. Opponent trying to activate in the standby phase. Effect negated, no cards in hand to discard. Drawn Pacifist and the Sea Stealth attack is pretty good. Hopefully we can keep our General Raiho alive. No reason to attack here yet. Opponent activating the Shangri-Ira. Are they going to discard to summon? They are. So opponent getting the Fenrir. But Fenrir cannot activate. Not activate his effect to search. Can't activate his trigger effect when he attacks either, I don't think. Opponent Going to battle. Not reading the Sea Stealth attack. We got a not reader here. Opponent ending the turn. Alright, you know what? I think we've turned this around. Maybe our knowledge of opponent's hand was worth it after all. Let's switch these boys to attack mode. Crash into the Rise Heart. Attack the Shangri Era. Make it lose a material. Take a couple damage, but that's all. All valuable price to pay to stop this turning into a Zeus. Opponent drawing a card and giving up. They can't play through the Raiho. Alright, so I think our confiscation trick was, it was okay, but not amazing. Let's go on to the next game. If you like this sort of water content, make sure to subscribe. I'll have more watery videos in the future. And one of the problems with the fusion deployment is our opponent can use it to fusion summon Blazing Cartesia. Alright, also if you want to get this card, it is in a structure deck, so you can get it for just 500 gems. You can get 3 copies for 1,500 gems. Pretty solid deal. And you also get a full Cyber Dragon deck, which is pretty fun. And Cyber Dragon's getting some support soon, so it's completely worth it. Opponent is going to do their Wombo Combo going first. Now, if you do have the fusion deployment, like I said, you can use it going second or first to summon the Fallen Albaz. But the other problem with it is not searchable. So you do have to just naturally draw it. You're going to be hoping to have it in hand. So is it worth... It's taking up 2 main deck slots and a lot of extra deck slots. Is it worth it? Is it worth the slots? We are not going to draw into it. So we're going to have to do our plays without access to the Thoughtseize and just hope for the best. Let's Legendary Ocean. Activate the Sea Stealth 2. Normal summon the Ocean Dragonlord, forcing our opponent to go down to 1 non-water monster. Activate. Search for the Dark Reef. Activate the Foolish Burial Goods. Put another Umi in the graveyard. And we already have Sea Stealth in hand, so we're going to have to do a neat little trick here. Dark Reef. Going to let us send our Legendary Ocean and swap out with the Sea Stealth into the Pacific, but opponent has the Ash Blossom. Too bad we didn't draw Thoughtseize. Could have stolen it away. Could have stolen it away with our Dolphin. Get the Pacific online. Opponent trying to attack, not reading. Popping their own monster. Setting a monster face down. Alright, love to see that. Drawing another Ocean Dragonlord. Let's activate. Ocean Dragonlord to search. Opponent branded banishing. Gonna summon a Despia from the graveyard and then fusion summoning using our monster, but they can't do it because they're not allowed to summon any non-water monsters here. And opponent has nothing they can steal and make with. We get a Phantasm token for our trouble. Let's crash into the Grand Granal. Crash into the face down Blazing Cartesia and opponent. You got no monsters left. Blazing Cartesia going back to hand. This looks like a classic Umi control victory. The fusion deployment not working out for our opponent either. Maybe this means fusion deployment bad. Brand of Fusion really bad versus Umi Lock. They're going to get their Albion, but they can't fusion summon with it because they already got a non-water monster on the field. They're going to draw an additional card, but not something they can use. Setting it face down. In the battle phase, we get to summon Ocean Dragonlord from hand. Banish it with a Sea Stealth, meaning we have 2 Ocean Dragonlords live now. Opponent, the lock is extremely secure. Alright, we got Ocean Dragonlord searching for another Sea Stealth. We got Sea Stealth attack in hand. We contribute to make General Raiho. You saw how impressive that was in the first game. Clear out opponent's monsters, attacking for 21. And opponent, I think you're running out of things to do. Branded opening. Gonna let him discard a card to special summon a monster. And that is gonna cost them a card if they want to activate it. Albion. Can't fusion summon anything. Opponent branded opening. They can't special summon to the field. They gotta add it to the hand. And they cannot summon their Aluber. Summoning Aluber the Boober is illegal because of the Umi Lock. And opponent going to battle, doing nothing. And I think we got easy lethal. Let's make sure we're safe from you know, all sorts of hand trap tricks. Get the electric jellyfish. And let's get in for lethal damage. Jellyfish attack. Ocean Dragonlord attack, and opponent knows it's over. They are out of here. Let's go on to the next game. Alright. Now, we are really struggling to draw fusion deployment. Where is fusion deployment? Do we need it to be good? Maybe our hands are better without fusion deployment. Opponent playing Tier Limit Kashtiras, and this is before the ban list. So, opponent is able to play Merly. Merly banned. Probably going to make Tier Limits a lot worse. Definitely some pretty heavy hits to them. Also, I think the Kelbeck and the other one are at 1 after the ban. Opponent going to do their little wombo combo, milling a bunch of cards to our graveyard, which can actually help us. We'll see if opponent does it again. Royal Colossus, Rhino Heart, Spray Elf, all very solid options. But in the future, without the level 2, opponent's probably not going to be playing Spray Elf. Opponent milled. They milled us. They milled an Ice Barrier, so we actually get to search our deck, add a water monster to our hand, go in second. Pretty nice. Let's send the wheel to the graveyard, get ourselves an Ocean Dragonlord. Opponent adding Crime to hand. Crime is a negate. So we know opponent has a negate. Opponent summoning Baron de Fleur means they have another negate, and they got a summon negate too. So opponent has a lot of cards, alright? They got 3 set back row. 1 is Crime, gonna negate something. They got negate a summon with Royal Colossus. They got Baron de Fleur, negate anything. If we activate a monster effect, cast your Fenrir, we're gonna banish a card. And they got Spray Elf to start milling by summoning the banned Merly from the graveyard. Alright, so that's a lot of interaction. Now, we have this evenly matched, but we can't afford it to get negated by Crime or the Baron, so we got to get both of those out of here. Let's use our Turtle, alright? Turtle first. We're going to Turtle away the Baron, so opponent can't use Baron negate. Baron negate down, alright? Opponent activating in response to Spray Elf, and I don't know if this is the right play, but I'm trying to bait my opponent to use their negate. So we're going to Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave, banish the Merly, would stop our opponent's Spray Elf from summoning, stop them from milling, stop them from fusion summoning. And opponent probably doesn't have another way to do the fusion summoning this turn. So is opponent going to fall for the bait? And they are using the Crime. Alright. Now, there's still 2 set back row. We don't know what else opponent could have. They could somehow have more negates. They could have Solemn Judgment or some nonsense. But this is our time to strike. We're going to go for it. We go to battle phase. Well, we got to wait for opponent to finish milling first. Milling, Havness, milling. Vanguard. Yep. The Kelbeck again. Alright, opponent. Mill us more. Mill us all you want. Fusion summon. All you want. Making Kikalos again. Kikalos. Going to add to hand or send to the graveyard to fusion summon. But we have nothing for them to banish, so there's no reason for them to do the fusion into the big one that spins a card. Opponent sending Sheer into the graveyard, going to fusion summon, using our Turtle into the Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart not going to do anything though, nothing to spin. We're going to go to battle phase, evenly matched. Opponent going to go down to 1 card, probably going to keep the Royal Colossus. But then we get to Legendary Ocean Jellyfish, summon the Ocean Dragonlord, and if they activate Royal Colossus to negate, we negate with the negate of the Jellyfish, and that's going to be them underwater lock. Opponent not even going to choose with the evenly matched. They are done. They know it's over. Tier limits deleted. Let's go on to the next game. All right. We got the fusion deployment. We got it. But opponent is going first. So we got to hope that our fusion deployment can save us. Go in second. Opponent doing adventure things. Getting the Wandering Griffin Rider. Activating a Fateful Adventure. Getting a Draco back. Activating Fateful Adventure to get the Illegal Knight. Don't usually see Illegal Knight being played. That was a card that I like to play that I haven't seen anyone else use. Draco back and set. Alright. Well, again, we got evenly matched. We got the fusion deployment. What's the play here? If we go to battle and evenly matched, we know our opponent is going to negate with the Wandering Griffin Rider and keep the rest of their cards. We would really like to evenly match them. So what are we going to do first? Are we going to go for fusion deployment or are we going to go for reasoning? Let's go for fusion deployment, all right? Now, here's the key reason. Opponent doesn't know what we're doing. I mean, the water field might give it away. But we're going to go for the fusion deployment. And opponent, you know, if they negate, it's fine. If they don't negate, we pull one of our bricks out of the deck, so reasoning gets better. And opponent will be even more confused because, you know, we pull out an Albion from the deck. Fallen Albaz, they're going to think we're playing Mirror Jade or something. Opponent max seeing us. That is pretty bad versus the fusion deployment. Thoughtseize is not as good when it makes your opponent also draw a card. Let's reveal Mirror Jade. Summon the Fallen Albaz. Discard a card to fusion summon. Opponent negating. Now, what were we going to fusion summon? Because that is a good question. What cards do you need to run to be able to fusion summon with opponent's Wandering Griffin Rider? And it is an extra deck here. We got the Rindrum. Rindrum is a beast, beast warrior, or winged beast monster, and this boy, winged beast, will let us fusion summon into the Rindrum. But opponent negating. All right, now we can evenly matched go to the battle phase. Evenly matched it up. Banish opponent's board. They get to keep the token. It's not a choice. They have to do it. Activate reasoning. Opponent has the Ash Blossom. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate here that they had the Ash. Thoughtseize, not as good going second when it draws your opponent a card and gets negated. Reasoning. Revealing the Dolphin. The Dolphin. And we had to shame scoop there because the Dolphin was the one we didn't want to hit. All right. And this, you know what? After that performance, I'm knocking this off. I think bad. It is not worth it, but very fun. Let's go on to the next game. All right. Stick around to the end. I'll have the full deck list. We got one more game, though. Opponent playing Sword Souls. But what is this Sword Soul start? Sword Soul start where they just summon Ataya with the Ecclesia, right? I think you're supposed to summon my girl Moyi. Opponent learn how to play Sword Soul. Now, we have the Fusion Deployment here. We can Thoughtseize opponent's hand. Opponent has Ataya, which we can't really use to make the Fallen Albaz into anything. There's no monsters that use a worm. So that not going to do too much. Let's start off with it anyway. We're gonna do the Thoughtseize trick, but opponent using the Ash Blossom to negate. You know what? If opponent did negate, we were gonna have to discard a card to steal that Ash Blossom from their hand. So this is a pretty solid trade. Fusion Deployment trading for Ash Blossom is exactly what we wanted. Let's activate the reasoning. Ash Blossom out of the way. Opponent naming level 1. We are gonna get a free monster here. It is the Turtle. All right, Turtle, not the best. All right, Reasoning looking pretty shabby. All right, Reasoning looking quite shabby, giving us the Turtle, but that's okay. We're gonna go to battle phase, clear out the Taya. Why are we clearing out Taya? Because I am worried about the Sword Soul trap. All right, we're playing around Blackout. Opponent gets to target one worm they control and 2 cards we control, destroy them. With only 1 card on the control, they can't. With only 1 card we control, they can't activate. They can't activate it, so nothing to pop. So now what do we play around? They don't have a worm to pop now. So now, you know, this could be evenly, not evenly matched. It could be impermanence. So we're going to play around impermanence here. We're going to use pot. Get ourselves a very deep dig. And we could get Ocean Dragonlord or we could get the Fish Sonar to search for the jellyfish. And I think playing around this being imperm is the right way to go. So we're going to get the Fish Sonar instead of the Ocean Dragonlord, who we contribute our whale to summon. We're going to get the Fish Sonar. Fish Sonar, get the jellyfish. Summon the jellyfish, activate. Now, if opponent negates this, we don't get to summon Raiho, but as cost, we send Pacificus to the graveyard and we got Sea Stealth Attack to activate it from our graveyard. But opponent not choosing to negate, or maybe this is actually the Blackout after all. Getting the Raiho on field, let's set our back row. And let's pass. Opponent, what can you do? Standby phase, activate. Get the Pacificus. Opponent. Banishing 3 to summon Protos. Protos, going to declare an attribute of a monster on the field and destroy all monsters with that attribute. I would like to keep my monsters. Thank you very much. So we are going to negate with a jellyfish. If we chose to let this resolve, Raiho would have forced them to discard a card to activate this, but I don't think that's a good trade. I think we want to keep our jellyfish. Keep our board. Opponent choosing to negate. It wasn't imperm after all. Trying to negate the jellyfish, but opponent, we got bad news for you. Sea Stealth Attack lets us dodge. Dodge the negate. Sea Stealth Attack protect. Because imperm has no target, it will not negate anything. Won't negate the column either. Protos negated, not wiping the field. We get a token. Phantasm Spiral token. We get a search that does nothing. Opponent gonna emergence. Get the Taya. Summon Taya. Banish the Sword Soul Emergence from the deck. They got a discard for it to resolve. Summoning Xiao. Trying to activate for search, but opponent. Yeah, you gotta read Raiho. He already negated one of your cards. You gotta read him. Sending the worm to the graveyard, but not able to search, and their negate is offline. They could have used Grandmaster to negate if they had cards in hand, but I don't know. No point wasting the search. If opponent cleared our Raiho, they could have used the negate on main phase 2. Attacking into our Sea Stealth Attack, not reading. Not reading again. Oh, hold on. Opponent didn't know that we had Ice Barrier. We used Ice Barrier to negate the Protos effect. Protos not destroyable by the Sea Stealth Attack. So opponent didn't actually get a chance to not read. And opponent is out of here. Love to see it. All right, you know what? Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe the fusion deployment actually is solid. It ate an Ash Blossom out of our opponent's hand. That's pretty, that's pretty good. Let's go on to the deck list. All right, we got Umi Thoughtseize, aka Confiscation. Let's show off the deck, talk about how it went, maybe what changes to make. So in the main deck, we got the Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. Make sure you run the Aqua Neos in the extra deck, otherwise this won't work. You got to reveal him to summon the Dolphin from the deck to Thoughtseize. We also got Fallen Albaz and a very expensive Fallen Albaz package in here. This is a lot of URs. I can understand if you don't want to play this part just because you don't have the UR material. So if you want to play this, you can cut Fallen Albaz. Does make it a lot worse going second, but maybe just a free Neospatian Aqua Dolphin is all you need to attribute your Ocean Dragonlord. So maybe it is worth it to cut the Albaz. We also got triple Jellyfish. Oh, I should mention one more thing. This can special summon from the hand as well, your hand or deck. So you can't brick with this. If you draw the Dolphin, you can still summon it with a deployment. All right, triple Jellyfish, triple Ocean Dragonlord. We had the one Raiho who is doing so much work today. Mega Fortress Whale, the one Gameciel, triple Reasoning. Reasoning was very mid in today's gameplay, so maybe Reasoning is cuttable. You let me know what you think. Should we play something else over Reasoning? Maybe I should switch my water field to not give it away what we're doing. Single Foolish Barrel, guys. Konami, please unhit this. 2 Pot of Extrav, which is a bit reckless, with this strategy, randomly banishing our extra deck. If we hit the Aqua Neos, or all of our targets with the, all of our targets for Fallen Albaz, then we won't be doing a lot with our extra deck. I should not be running Verte here. That should get cut. Talk about that later. Triple Fusion Deployment. Now, this is a UR, but you can get it for 500 gems by buying the Cyber Dragon Structure deck, which is probably just worth it, Got 1 Pot of Prosperity, triple Fish Sonar, 2 Legendary Oceans, 1 Pacifist, 2 Sea Stealth 2s, Call by the Grave at 2, 2 Ice Barriers, triple Evenly Matched for going second, 1 Dark Reef, triple Sea Stealth Attack. In the extra, we're running Elemental Hero Aqua Neos, Albion, Mirror Jade, Lubellion, Albalentus, Rinbrum. We got Stealth Kraken and Kraken Spawn. We got Zeus. We got Nightmare Phoenix. We got Coral Anemone. Verte is cuttable. I was playing this because I was playing Super Poly before. I forgot to cut the Verte, but we don't usually use the extra deck in this deck at all, so you can cut Verte for something else. Blackluster Soldier. We got World Sea Dragon, Zeolantis, and we got the Underworld Mommy. I hope you liked today's video. If I were to change this, like I said, probably cut the Fallen Albaz, go down to 1 Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. And what would you put in instead? Well, you could just put in some hand traps. You could put in, maybe play another Ice Barrier. Ice Barrier pretty solid. Cut this for another Ice Barrier. And that is also really good with the Reasoning. If you accidentally mill your Ice Barrier, that's a search. So yeah, cut Fallen Albaz. He's a bit of a brick. Swap it for an Ice Barrier and see how it does for you. Like I said, thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time. Make sure to subscribe and have a good night.